1, 2, 3. 3 count 4.
Hello everyone, I am Be Better Gamer and welcome to Be Better Gamer Wrestling. This channel is dedicated to the classic series of N64 wrestling games developed by CAW Corporation, which, if you are unfamiliar, were WCW NWO World Tour, WCW NWO Revenge, Virtual Pro Wrestling 64, Virtual Pro Wrestling 2, WrestleMania 2000, WWF No Mercy. Thank you for clicking on this video, and I hope you stick around because in this video, I will be doing a CAW, a Create a Wrestler, I call it CAW for short, of the Road Warriors, Hawk and Animal. Road Warrior Hawk, Road Warrior Animal, the Legion of Doom. Two-time WWF World Tag Team Champions, held championships in many different promotions around the world, including All Japan, AWA, WCW, Georgia Championship Wrestling, and more. So first, I'm going to show you how I made them. I'm going to go through them, cycling through the outfits, but don't worry, I'm going to go through all of them, show you how I made them. Profile music, very simple, Road Warrior Hawk. It all fits. Hawk 6327, I pulled that from their Wikipedia page. I chose Ministry music. Sounds the closest to their LOD music, but it's not their LOD music. We all know that. Fighting style, I'm just putting quick glances of these, so if you want to like freeze frame it and pause it to make it a little bit easier. But if you check in the description below, you're going to see all this written out in a nice Google Docs template. I have everything tabbed out so you can do profile, fighting style, moves, all that's good stuff. Look at allies. I put the New Age Outlaws. I'll talk about that in a minute, why I chose them as their enemies. And but here you go, Road Warrior Hawk. So body size 3. That's the more muscular. They were definitely body guys. Ring attire 39, 0 and 3. Basically default black and red to get the red and white stripes. Head 4. Elongated head. Hawk had kind of a big head, right? Face 9. Doesn't really matter the face because it's covered by the face paint. Hair 1 is 10. That's definitely Hawk's hair. Facial hair 19. Mask, etc. is his face paint, which is actually reversed. His black star, I guess, is usually on the right side of his face, and here they put it on the left side. I don't know why they did that. But boots 12, red. Very simple. Very simple to make Road Warriors. It was almost as if they were supposed to be in this game, and we'll talk about that for a little bit. All I did for the second outfit was I just changed the color boots to black, and I put 21 black, so that's the dark black if you press down C. And this third outfit is a little bit modeled after their older look. They're like mid to late 80s look. They usually had their names written on the side. But you know, just put regular black tights, you can get away with it. I gave him knee pads here, and I tried to make the knee pads blend in because it looked like, at least with Hawk, it looked like he wore his knee pads under his tights, and Animal, it definitely looked like he wore it over, but sometimes he wore it under too. But and this is just another difference. That's I think that's actually like one of the Undertaker's tights. Ministry tights, but this is just a little variation on their black and red. You know, sometimes they had the black pants with the red design on the side. Here's Road Warrior Animal, basically a carbon copy of Road Warrior Hawk, but if you see there, his height and weight is different, which is why I made two separate characters, and I'll talk about that real quick. So I wanted to give him a big burly body type. You can go with body type 4 if you want. It gives him a little bit of the abs, but I went with body type 5 just because, you know, Animal was always just a little bit, you know, more wider than Hawk. But you can do either or if you want. Hair 14. Now you can go with either that style of mohawk or that style, or number 9 mohawk. I personally like the number 14 mohawk. It just fits more, I think, what Animal used to do with the back of his mohawk when he would have his hair cut that way. And mask 30 is very obviously Animal's mask. He usually had a white and red spider design, but there are matches that you can go back and watch where he did have the yellow and black face paint. I think they slightly adjusted the face paint because they wanted to put that in there so that people could make him. I'm just totally making this up. It's not confirmed or anything, but that's why I think they made the face paint just slightly different from how they really wore it. But it's very clearly Hawk and Animal. I mean, you can't deny that. And I'm showing you here, all you gotta do is once you make the characters and once you fill in the moves, let's say if you fill in the moves for Hawk, you just clone it over to Animal because they have the exact same moves. So there you have it. That's Hawk and Animal. Again, in the description below, I'll have everything typed out, detailed, so you can see all the moves, all the parameters, all that good stuff. But let's do a match. Let's see these guys in action. So we're going to choose Animal. I'm going to play as Animal, Road Warrior, Animal, Road Warrior, Hawk. And I'm going to go against Road Dogg and Mr. Ass. I mess with the moves a little bit here because, I mean not the moves, but the match settings, because I wanted to do the Doomsday device as much as possible. My original intention for doing a match, usually after every CAW video, I always do a match. And I wanted to win with the Doomsday device. That was my goal. And unfortunately, in WrestleMania 2000, it's a lot harder to do than in, let's say, WWF No Mercy. So I had to record this match multiple times over and over again. So this is the best one before I finally gave up. It was like 2 hours of just me playing tag team matches with the Road Warriors, and I really got to know my CAW, which is great. I think they work great. But again, this is my interpretation. You can do it however you want to do it. You can take a little bit of this, change things if you want to change their face, their size, anything you want, their outfits. But this is just the way I did it. Let me know what you think, and if you made changes to it, or if you have suggestions that you think I would want to make a change to, let me know. Feel free. That's what's the beauty of these games. I mean, WrestleMania 2000 is plus 15 years old. And you can still have these great CAWs that people can look at and get inspired and make their own little tweaks. And here's one of my favorite features about WrestleMania 2000 that's not in No Mercy, is the tag teams coming out together. And I actually, in order to get it to say New Age Outlaws, I had to change Billy Gunn's Titantron and music video to be Road Dogg's, and then automatically the game just knows to have them come out as a tag team. I think that's so cool. In WCW NW Revenge, they came out as a tag team regardless of who you chose because there was no music in Titantron. But in WrestleMania 2000, you can only make certain tag teams come out together. You just had to have them have the same music in Titantron, and the game, it was like sort of like a little Easter egg, you know what I mean? Like, because if you change Road Warrior, Hawk, and Animal to their ministry music, they both have the ministry music, but if you change the Titantron to both ministry, they still won't come out together. So a little Easter egg there. One of the reasons why I chose New Age Outlaws. Another reason why I chose New Age Outlaws was because they pretty much became the New Age Outlaws by defeating the Road Warriors on an episode of Raw, and I've talked about that in my WWF No Mercy Let's Play series. Currently, I am in the middle of doing my Tag Team Championship Let's Play series, and I did an episode on the New Age Outlaws, and watching them beat the Road Warriors and becoming the New Age Outlaws. They weren't even called the New Age Outlaws at that point. They were just Road Dogg and Billy Gunn. It made me want to make the Road Warriors, and in WWF No Mercy, honestly, you can't make the Road Warriors as well. They have different face paints. They don't really have the face paints that are in WrestleMania 2000 or even in Virtual Pro Wrestling 2 for that matter. But so I thought WrestleMania 2000 would be the best place to make the Road Warriors. This is actually my first WrestleMania 2000 CAW that I'm uploading on my channel, but way back in the day I even had a Road Warriors CAW. It almost seemed like they were the biggest missing team from this game, and I know at the time they weren't really teaming and there was a lot of stuff going on, but they were like the biggest missing team. It's like, why aren't the Road Warriors in it? They have their tights, they have their face paint. It almost seems like that they wanted to include them, but for whatever reason they couldn't. But this was definitely their era. Road Warriors were there towards the beginning of the Attitude Era, and they were right when it started transitioning into WWF Attitude Era. I, of course, grew up with the Road Warriors as a kid. Now, I was a child of the 90s. I was born in the late 80s, but I was a child of the 90s. So my first experience with the Road Warriors, with the Legion of Doom, was in early WWF. You know, I remember them in the Survivor Series matches, teaming up, Survivor Series 1990, teaming up with Ultimate Warrior and Texas Tornado, and they were the Warriors. And they took on the perfect team of Mr. Perfect and Demolition, who were pretty much WWF's version of the Road Warriors before they actually got the Road Warriors to come to their promotion. But it wasn't until I got older that I was able to look back at some of their early stuff in their 8 and read about how popular they were in the 80s, how loud the crowd was, and how they pretty much started right at the top. It's a very rare occurrence, for a tag team to be as popular as the Road Warriors were, but also B, to come in at the top right away. Back then, wrestling, it was a little bit more of like, you had to know people to get in. It was a lot more secretive. It was a lot more inclusive. They were very protective of who they let come into the business, so that meant you had to pay your dues. And the Road Warriors, frankly, didn't really have to pay their dues too long. They definitely busted their ass when they were at the top of the card, but they earned that through their smash mouth, tough, hard-hitting style that people just loved. And they were introduced as bad guys, but people just loved them kicking ass so much. It was my first Doomsday Device attempt, and it fails. People loved watching them kick ass that they just wanted to cheer for them. So it was great to go back and see that, and especially doing research for this episode on the WWE Network, I was able to watch their feuds with with the Four Horsemen and their War Games match. They were involved in the very first War Games, actually the first 3. They were in like 14 War Games matches altogether. To watch some of those on the WWE Network was great. Their matches with members of the Horsemen. To watch a lot of their early stuff in NWA and Georgia Championship Wrestling. It was pretty cool. It was pretty cool to see that, because I feel like when I was watching them as a kid, I didn't quite fully understand how influential this tag team was. Especially even to this day, you can still feel their effects. I mean, you didn't have, at the time the Road Warriors came out, it might sound crazy now, but at the time the Road Warriors came out, you didn't really have a tag team that just ran through everybody. We've seen that over the years since the Road Warriors, but they were really pretty much, and when I mean just run through everyone, I don't mean just like physical and big. There were other physical and big tag teams, but to run through people and then like just to draw crowds, to be popular, to have people come and see them over maybe the world champion of those promotions, of those territories. I mean, that's why they were in a lot of main event matches with main event wrestlers and guys like the Four Horsemen, because people wanted to see them. And it's crazy to think about that. They were really kind of one of the first to attract that madness that's usually just reserved for like singles wrestlers and champions and things like that. And to this day we look at, they were managed by Paul Ellering. All 3 of them got inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame. They're in various other Hall of Fames as well, the Wrestling Observer Hall of Fame, the Professional Wrestling Hall of Fame, the NWA Hall of Fame. And Paul Ellering, precious Paul Ellering, and the Road Warriors, they were something special, man. Here I go. Here's the Doomsday Device. Bam! Very, very fun and satisfying to do. And that was another thing that they influenced with the Doomsday Device, and it being such a destroyer. But even today, Paul Ellering, he's managing the Authors of Pain, and he's bringing sort of that Road Warriors vibe, being the mouthpiece to these 2 destructive monsters. So I was just inspired to do it because I felt like WrestleMania 2000 was the best place for a Road Warrior call. And maybe I'll do a Let's Play down the line with the Road Warriors so I can go into more detail about their past, about their history, about, me watching the Road Warriors as a kid. But I hope you like this call. Let me know what you think. Once again, check the description down below for all the details. give me a shout out. Tweet me your pictures if you make this. It would be great to see. And yeah, stay tuned for more calls, more Let's Plays. Check out the rest of the content on my channel. I am Be Better Gamer. Thank you for watching, and as always, keep watching all the wrestling.